So as you can imagine, one common question I get is how to start an ACH session. And this also works into how you would start any traditional hypnosis session, not using scripts and techniques and stuff like that. But let's concentrate on an ACH session. How do you start? A lot of people talk about, well, I like to set up the session properly. I'm going to do some priming. I'm going to do some talks about hypnosis and all that sort of stuff. I'm here to tell you how to start an ACH session every single time. ACH obviously stands for Advanced Conversational Hypnosis. And although we have hypnosis in the title, which can be a little bit confusing, I'm talking about how to start a therapy session. How do you start it? Well, it starts exactly like this every single time, regardless, guys, of your client's problem. Does not matter. Because remember, whatever problem they tell you, whatever they've bought into as far as what they paid you for is their conclusion. So people say, well, Scott, I don't like doing stop smoking sessions. That's great. You're never going to help someone quit smoking anyway, because that's their conclusion. So that's just a little side note. So let's get into it. How to start an ACH session. Always start here, regardless of the person, regardless of the problem. What's the problem? Dive straight in. No priming, no setup, no idle chit chat, nothing. Guys, get straight in. As soon as your client sits down or they turn on Zoom, you might say hello, get into it. Okay, no need to set anything up, no pre-planning, no technique planning, anything like that. What's the problem? And then you go from there. Okay, that's the only place you start. Now, I can use different words, guys. I have people say, well, can I, instead of saying what's the problem, you could start with what problem do you want to solve today? Semantics don't matter, guys. Just it's starting in the place where your client is, which is their conclusion, and figuring out along the way how to get there. Now, notice this is the start of the therapy. The traditional hypnotist will start with close your eyes and relax. So you might think, well, Scott, why aren't we doing that? Because we don't worry about hypnosis. Hypnosis is not necessary for therapy and vice versa. Clients pay for therapy. Clients do not pay for hypnosis. Just because you can hypnotize someone does not mean they can get an outcome, does not mean that they have a breakthrough. Hypnosis, therapy, totally different things. No matter who's told you otherwise, they are vastly different. We're talking about therapy here. So we start with what's the problem, which is the start of the therapy. Okay, we want to avoid priming. Okay, so you don't need to prime anything. You don't need to set things up. I've talked about this in other videos before. Unless you know the type of clients you work with are prone to ab reactions and you just want to prime the ab reaction drill. I won't go through that right now. You should have been taught that in your hypnosis training. If not, you need to work out what these things are, because ab reactions, if they happen, you need to know how to control them. Okay, avoid talking about session overview. We don't get into that. We just start with what's the problem. I don't have to break down the session, what's going to happen, what I'm going to say, what you're going to do. Nothing. I can catch my client unaware, which works very good for therapy. I don't need to talk about how hypnosis works or anything like that. Why? Because we're not doing hypnosis. I don't even have to talk about how therapy works. Dive straight into what's the problem. Don't have to worry about ridiculous suggestibility tests and thinking, I wonder if everyone could be hypnotized. Doesn't matter. We're not doing hypnosis. You can already see, guys, from this alone, you're starting the therapy session so quickly. All this other fluff that people are taught to do beforehand might take up half of the first session. So 20, 30 minutes, even 5 minutes is too long, guys. Get straight into what's the problem. You don't have to worry about the relaxation and getting a client to walk down the stairs or walk along a relaxing beach and go deeper. Every time I tap your hand, go deeper. Why? Because we don't care about the hypnosis. We do the therapy first. If you think, well, how can you do the therapy first? Doesn't the client have to be hypnotized first? The answer is always no. Two different things. I'll leave a video below talking about that and why you want to do the therapy first. And if you don't, it means that you're going to taint the hypnosis session, even though we're not worrying about it. Hopefully you're with me here, guys. So regardless of the problem, anxiety, smoking, fears, you might be thinking, well, Scott, I've got a really specific niche. Doesn't matter. That's all your clients' conclusions and thoughts. Start with what's the problem, okay, guys, and work it from there.